yeah, it's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting year in professional wrestling, and with that on the mind, with it being early in the year and everything, I wanted to take a look ahead. We took a look into our crystal balls, and we.
Okay. Okay.
And we're gonna figure out
Okay.
what is gonna be the biggest things that we see in our balls for 2025 in WWE. So, Luis, I'm gonna pass the ball over to you.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the first prediction I have on the list here was one that you gave me, Dirty Dom, to win either the United States or Intercontinental
Oh, we're
Championship.
starting from. Okay.
I'd put them in an order that I liked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, talk to me about Dirty Dom.
Bro, that's just interesting how everything is going with this little storyline, bro. With Liv and everything. That shit's not gonna last forever. You see how he's falling out with Finn a little bit too, bro.
Well, that's been happening for a minute, yeah.
They're planting the little seeds that's gonna definitely probably happen sometime soon. So who knows, bro? I feel like that fool's just gonna drift solo for a little bit, but still be like a little rat and shit.
You think it's possible for him to break off from
Judgment Day
without someone having to turn babyface? Like, how does everyone break apart but everyone stays heel?
I don't
is
know.
My question to you.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what type of route they take him because everybody he's funny as fuck. I don't know if you've seen him, but that was like pretty.
No, for
funny.
sure.
Yeah.
But he's also just like so good as a heel. I don't think you should change that, and I don't even know if you could because the live audiences love to boo him so much. Like, so have you thought about how you would pull off the Dom break off?
That fool's just gonna fall out, bro.
Okay.
He's just probably just gonna drift, bro. That fool's just gonna start doing fucking random ass shit, bro. And trying to prove himself right. He's probably gonna get in a little beef with Ray again or some shit, bro.
I feel like they've gone to that so much. Like,
It's
I don't
just
feel
gonna
like
be natural for him, bro.
I don't know. So, you think he wins the title as a heel?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. And without the Judgment Day.
It's probably gonna be almost like a heel that the crowd is behind and shit. I feel like the crowd is probably gonna turn around a little bit first because they're probably gonna show more of him and shit like that.
Maybe.
We'll see, bro.
They love to boo him so much.
Yeah,
I don't know if I feel
That's
this,
the thing,
bruh.
We'll see.
I don't know if I feel this one. I like some of it. I could see them putting some gold on Dom finally because it feels like that's been kind of overdue
Besides
for a
the
while
fucking North
now.
American
Well, yeah.
Championship
I
or
mean,
whatever.
on the main roster, on the main roster. But I feel like it's gonna be interesting to me to see if they do it. I do see the Judgment Day breaking up pretty soon, but I still think Liv and Dom and Raquel are gonna be together as kind of a trio, and then Finn and JD will still be kind of homies, and Carlito will probably be the one that ends up just floating off, doing random side quests and shit. But I feel like there's still gonna be some allegiances from the split off Judgment Day.
Dom's gonna be sitting there kissing up to Liv this whole time, man.
I don't know about for the full year, but at least for the foreseeable future. I don't think any time in the near future. Like by WrestleMania, I feel like they're probably still together. Just because I feel like that would be a lot happening at once for Liv. Like it just throws everyone into such wild directions. And I feel like Liv and Dom still works really well, like with the crowd and like just in stories in general. Like I feel like the only thing people were getting somewhat tired of was them feuding with Rhea and Damian constantly. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anyone had an issue with Liv and Dom as a couple. If anything, like they're just both so good as heels. I feel like they just work together. That's why I'm like kind of pushing back on that part. Like I don't know how soon I would be to break Dom off and make him go totally solo. But I do feel a lot of the elements of what you're saying. Like, I like the Judgment Day itself kind of breaking apart. I like Dom getting some gold around his waist this year. I think there are parts of it. But Dom going fully solo is just that becomes pretty
I
complicated.
just think he still needs to be playing around and shit like that with Liv and shit.
I just think it works for his character so well. Like, I don't know why you stop that while it's still working so well right now. And again, like I said, I don't know how you navigate that breakup without one of them kind of having to be in the more like sympathetic role.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I don't know if that's a can of worms you want to open right now. I feel like you just gotta let them be the evil heel, you love to hate them couple for
I'm
now.
dead.
You know? I don't know. I just feel like they work so well together for now. I would not be in a rush to break all of that off. But I like a lot of it though. We'll move on to my first prediction here. I wanted to dip down to NXT for at least one of these and talk about something that could be interesting from like call ups and stuff like that. Because I think last year we saw that in the Triple H era, the NXT call ups are going to be taken very seriously. We've seen a few people get some really significant pushes. I think we could have seen more if it wasn't for like injuries and stuff like that to Ilya Dragunov, shit like that. But we've also seen some of those go really bad. Some of the call-ups ending up in people getting released pretty quickly after. So it's been kind of a mixed bag. But I do think that there's real potential for the
really
talent
crazy,
coming up to the main roster. And I think Ethan Page will be the one that separates himself this year as
You think he's
the...
gonna come? They're gonna pull him up.
I think he will get called up at some point this year, and I feel like he will be the call-up of the year. I just feel like he was already kind of main roster ready when he came over. He had a very extensive history in AEW working on television. Like, he wasn't green in any sense, I don't think. It was just more so to get him acclimated to the WWE fan base and stuff like that. And I think it's worked really well. Like, so far, his run on NXT has been fucking awesome. But I don't feel like he needs to stay down there much longer. Like, NXT is really stacked right now, too, to where, like, it's almost like you don't want to be taking up space in the main event for too long. If you feel like someone is ready to pull him up, you should. And I feel like Ethan Page is one of those guys that, especially his work as a heel, is something that I think is really needed on the men's side of on the main roster. I feel like those like really good, funny, charismatic heels are something that we don't have enough of. Like, look at how Drew McIntyre's career literally transformed over the last year by being such a great heel. I feel like it's because there's so few and far between in WWE. Like, Gunther's another one that people absolutely love. Like, if you could pull off being a really interesting, entertaining heel, you're gonna be in the main event for a while. Because look at how many top level baby faces there are. I could go on for fucking ever. You know what I mean? Like, on the men's side of things, in the main event scene, there's baby faces for fucking days. That's why I was so happy KO turned heel. Because we need more main event level heels that aren't named like Roman Reigns and stuff, even though I know he's kind of a tweener right now. But like, guys, like when it's guys like the Final Boss or whoever that only work so many dates throughout the year, like, it's tough. You want guys who can be there consistently to be the asshole to give your babyface something to try and overcome. And I feel like Ethan Page, because of how charismatic he is as a heel, could be thrusted right into the main event picture, kind of like out of necessity. It's like we need someone who's funny as hell, is a good worker, who can be a good heel, and just put on really good matches and good storylines. I feel like, who knows, we could see Ethan Page by the end of the year with a US or IC title run or something like that. I could see a Money in the Bank potentially if he gets called up sometime soon. Like, I think the Royal Rumble could open some doors, hopefully, from NXT and bring some guys up to the main roster. Because it was around this time last year. It's usually right before or right after Mania season, I feel like, that you get some NXT call-ups. And so I'm hoping sometime pretty soon, within the next few months, we get some guys and girls starting to come up and make some moves on the main roster. And I think Ethan Page will be the NXT call-up of the year.
That's an interesting shout. I respect it because Luke has won titles so far this year.
You know? It's clearly a viable path to get to the main event. If you succeed really well in developmental, come up to the main roster and get over, you know, there's a lot of opportunities there for you, clearly.
That's crazy to think. A lot of fucking, honestly, these past 2 years, NXT call-ups are champions right now.
Yeah.
On the main roster.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna get to a point pretty soon
That's
where
fucking wild, bro. To think
I mean,
about.
we're kind of there now. I would say
only the two main belts are basically the ones that are not held by like an NXT person. Besides in the women's divisions.
That's what I was gonna say. Is a vast majority of the talent just on the roster in general at least had some sort of history in NXT, even if they didn't necessarily get their start. Like, there's kind of a difference between the PC babies or whatever people call it, the people who kind of got their introduction to wrestling through WWE and the NIL programs and stuff like that. And then you got your Kevin Steens and El Genericos that were tearing up Ring of Honor and shit like that and get brought into NXT with a lot of hype. But still, they still count as NXT guys because they both came up through NXT at one point or another. So when you look at the full roster through that lens, like a huge, like a vast majority of the roster has been through the NXT system to some extent. So it's definitely Cody is one of the rare cases, rare cases of being a top level guy that has zero NXT experience. But I mean, it's a credit to the developmental system. It's extremely strong, bro. Like, to me, it's the thing that makes me so confident that wrestling is going to stay good for a long time, and we're not going to go back to the dark ages of the 2010s that we had, because the system just works so well. Like, there's always another star that's brewing, and, you know, if you don't pay as much attention to NXT, you'll be introduced when they come onto the main roster, and if you're watching NXT, you're seeing them kind of come up through the ranks. Like, it's a really exciting time to be a wrestling fan because it just feels like the stars are never ending right now. There constantly is a new talent to get excited about somewhere, so it's great.
Quick pause, y'all. Quick pause.
Oh my lord.
Well, yeah, we were talking about NXT. Everybody coming up.
I mean, we were pretty much done on that. I think we can move on to the next one we had on here, which was something that you had sent over. Jade Cargill will be
a championship at some point this year.
WWE Women's Champion is what you sent me specifically by the end of the year. So, are you going to say Women's Champion or Heavyweight Champion?
No, Women's Championship. WWE Women's Championship.
Okay. And so I'm assuming that obviously means that the breakup with Bianca is going to
definitely happen.
And who is the good guy? Who is the bad guy?
I think I might see a Bianca heel turn, bro.
I just don't see it. I
don't know. The whole thing with the who attacked Jade Cargill is just getting sus, bro. And like kind of like Bianca's just not playing like detective or anything like that. She's just trying to get herself into matches and shit like that.
I mean, what is she supposed to do?
Figure out who the fuck.
She's not Sherlock Holmes,
bro.
She's not Sherlock Holmes.
So she's just not supposed to care, bro.
She cares. She still talks about it. Like, it's still a thing. But I mean, obviously, yeah. Like, it's a mystery.
Nah, bro.
It's a mystery, bro.
There's no fucking way that it's just like it's carrying on this fucking long, bro. Who attacked her, bro?
I'm not gonna lie.
It's ridiculous it's been this long.
It's kind of fucking annoying that it's been this long.
Because, bro...
It's kind of that Triple H shit that be pissing me off sometimes.
No, it's not even, bro. It's just why. It's just like...
No, it's that Triple H shit that be pissing me off. That will be taking
like,
too fucking long to pull the trigger on shit.
It should have been just Bianca figuring out, like, watching footage or some shit like that.
It didn't even have to be watching footage. It could have just been someone admitting it. Like, coming, like, forward and saying, or, like, them figuring it out somehow. I don't fucking know, but... They just needed to give us something by now, bro. Like, it's been way too just left alone at this point. The shit is frustrating.
It's like almost the shit that they're doing. I like how they're playing it better with the tag team championships on SmackDown. Of course, you know who fucking attacked the fucking what's their faces? I'm blanking.
I know what you're talking about.
I know, yeah, that DIY attacked the fucking those who's to get the fucking chance to fucking win the title and shit.
Street Profits.
Yeah, the Street Profits. There you go.
Yeah. No, I know every. Yeah. But fucking
They're playing that way better though, instead of just being like, oh, who fucking attacked.
The thing that I just don't see it is because I feel like Bianca is so just naturally babyface, and I feel like Jade is just naturally heel. Like, I feel like you're trying to reinvent the wheel over here by trying to flip them from what their natural roles should be.
So how would be the only fucking plausible way that they're gonna fucking turn against each other? What?
Well, I mean,
Jade's just gonna come back and be on her heels. She's like, "Oh, you replaced me. You done this and shit like that."
This whole time, I've been saying it was Naomi. I still think I'm right. It ends up being that Naomi did it. Bianca is just the fool for letting it slip under her nose. Not a bad guy, but just dumb.
Do you think Jade is gonna hold that against her?
And Jade is gonna come back and go on a tear and say, "You forgot me, you blah blah blah, you this, that, and the other." And she's just gonna start attacking the shit out of people. And she'll be one of those heels that is very common in Triple H's booking style, where like she's a heel in the sense that she like doesn't play by the rules in matches and goes after the baby faces. But she's justified in her motivations because, like, yeah, like, she kind of did just get forgotten about and left behind by her partner and whatnot. So I'll be very interested to see how that character plays out. But I'm very confident that that's how it should play out. I don't know if that's how it will play out because I'm not there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that's how it should play out. I think that's the best way to navigate the breakup and the whole who attacked Jade situation and wrap it all up together nicely. And heel Naomi would be awesome as just like a side tangent
how would
from
that work though?
Because she's hilarious. So just imagine her talking shit. Oh, it'd be great.
But like she wouldn't do that glow shit no more though.
Don't need to.
That's too.
Don't need to.
So
it's not over anyways. If we could be totally brutally honest, the whole glow thing. No one cares. It's not yeet. Like no one cares. It's not a great gimmick. It's not a great gimmick.
You think she's gonna completely drop that?
Why not?
Start a whole new heel gimmick.
Why not? Because I think she's got the personality to carry it. 100%. She's fucking funny, bro. I feel like she'd be a great... The problem is she's naturally very funny, I feel like, a lot of times. And so you'd have to tone that down and be a bit more insulting. But I don't doubt that... I think she could pull it off.
I don't know about that one,
I think she could pull it off.
That one's wild.
You know, she's technically a part of the bloodline, right? Like, dude, she's been understanding how to do this heel shit. The only thing I say is
because, like, Bianca has been heel before, but Naomi never has.
But I feel like it didn't fully translate with Bianca. Like, I've never heard anyone talk about that as, like, being a goated heel run. I feel like people appreciate Bianca more. I feel like Bianca seems more comfortable from the outside looking in as a babyface. It just feels... That's why I said she's a natural babyface. It just feels like it just is her character. It just works. And I feel like Jade has that natural heel energy, that I'm better than you energy. That's heel energy to me. And so to me, it just so naturally makes sense that you would go in that direction. I feel like it's the natural way that this breakup should go.
I don't know.
We've gone down an interesting tangent here. I do like your call, though. Your original prediction of Jade Cargill being a women's champion by the end of the year, I think, is a very strong prediction.
It's gonna happen, bro.
I do think it's a strong prediction. Because she's just been presented as such a star ever since she debuted.
Definitely my prediction is gonna be she's gonna win it against Charlotte Flair. It's like, it's gonna have to happen.
So you think Charlotte wins it from Tiffany then?
Yeah, probably.
And then Jade wins it from Charlotte. Okay, so that's a bonus prediction.
Because Jade was probably going to be handling Bianca at Mania. That's probably going to be one of the big...
So when does Jade return then? Like Rumble or...
Probably.
Surprise Rumble return? Rumble, yeah. Honestly, I think that'd be pretty hype. Because that's where she debuted last year. So that'd be a hype little return, low-key. I'm down. Okay. Some of the stuff you said I disagreed with because I still don't think that Bianca should go heel and Jade should go face. But everything else, again, there's like a couple little parts of your predictions I'm nitpicking, but your overall vision, I'm fucking with. I'm just a nitpicker, you know me. I'm gonna like dig into the details of all your shit and pick it apart. But your overall vision, I'm fucking with heavy. I am fucking with heavy. And unfortunately, I gotta get negative. But then positive. Hear me out. This one was one that I submitted here. John Cena will not win the Royal Rumble.
Okay, no, okay.
He will not win the Elimination Chamber. He will have a match at WrestleMania, but not a title match. Just some big dream match or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He'll win it at Mania, but not for the title. Continue to have some bigger wins throughout the year, but then when it comes to those big ones for the gold, he'll come up short until his final match, where he wins the 17th championship in his final match, retires as a champion, and vacates the belt. But then for the rest of all of eternity in wrestling, the line, the champ is here, will hold weight. Because he will have retired as a champion. And so he's a forever champion. We talked about a bit how we felt like the Cena run could play out. We threw out a couple different theories and stuff like that. And as I molded over, this was my favorite.
Your favorite theory, okay.
Because it tells a continuous story throughout the year.
See, that's literally what you're calling him, retiring as champion.
My thing is this.
And vacates the belt.
That's what I think should...
That's what he's going to do. He's probably going to put like his armbands and put the belt in the middle and just dip like that.
I think that's the poetic way to do it.
Bro, exactly.
So can I tell you why? Because if you have him win the Rumble, which I'll be real, when I was fucking at the show in LA, he comes out, does the whole thing, announces he's going to be in the Rumble, of course. So I'm driving home in traffic that night. I'm thinking, I want to see Papa Cena at the end of the fucking Rumble holding his hand. Like, I want to see him win the Royal Rumble. That'd be awesome. I want to see him in the main event at Mania. Cena versus Cody. Oh my god. This is like Rock versus fucking Hogan. This is going to be amazing. Blah, 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 blah.
That would be intense.
But then I really get to thinking. And yes, that would be amazing. I get that. But my fear is that we jump the shark a little early. Like, if Cena wins number 17 in April at Mania, or even at, like, SummerSlam or something, if he wins it relatively early into this run, then the whole rest of the farewell tour really just becomes, like, well, bye.
The champ's last run, bro.
Which, like, that would still be entertaining, of course. Like, I'm not trying to say that would be bad. I just think a more entertaining way to do it would be to build suspense throughout on the way
and just
to
keep breaking our hearts over and over again, bro.
You gotta be very careful. That's why I said you gotta sprinkle in big wins throughout to make him still feel like a legit threat and make it like still exciting.
This shot in the fucking elimination chamber or some shit.
And you gotta get creative with how he...
Make him get in the last 3 of the Royal Rumble or some shit.
Exactly. You gotta get creative with how he loses, too. Like, some of them should just be straight-up losses where, you know, he'll come out next time on Raw or whatever, you know, the better man won, but I get back up and keep fighting because I never give up. You can't see me. All that great stuff. And then sometimes you gotta pull out some interference and stuff to kind of protect him here and there. Like, you gotta get creative with it to make sure that it doesn't get to feeling stale. Because, like, it'll feel obvious when we're getting to the end. But if it's booked properly to where, even though it feels obvious, it has that, like, sense of potentially not happening. Like, I don't know. I think there's...
So how is he gonna get said title match for his last match? How is he gonna earn it then?
That's why I say you gotta get creative. Like, you gotta throw out something where some type of storyline where he could get somehow involved with the champ and find a way to make it to where he can try and fucking get some sort of stipulation, get it to a tournament or something. Like, there's always a way in wrestling. The good old tournament. Number 1 contenders tournament is always the get out of jail free card for a booker, I feel like. there's a lot of different ways I feel like you could make that work. But
That's interesting.
I just think that, I guess my main part of the prediction is that he will not win the Rumble, doesn't get the win at Chamber, like doesn't get the Mania title match, and then goes on from there hunting it down until his last match. And then retires champ.
Crazy, but I see it at the same time.
I just feel like that
Crazy, but I see it.
that to me would be a pretty fucking amazing way to send off my GOAT. I'll be excited to see it. Another one of the GOATs, one of the very best ever for sure. This is the final one that I have on here that you submitted. CM Punk will have his WrestleMania moment
this year.
and will win the heavyweight championship. Specifically the heavyweight championship.
Of course.
So, walk me through that.
We already know that this one right here is already occupied by me. Nah, bro, but
Mm-hmm.
but we already know where that story's going for that shit, bro.
Do we?
The final boss with Roman Reigns.
The final boss exists?
Oh,
I thought it was Dwayne, TKO,
taking tequila shots and then driving off,
Terramana.
drinking and driving,
Yeah. I thought it was that Rock.
drinking and driving wrong, bro. Fuck it, bro. Took like 8 fat swings out of that bottle and took like 2 shots with Cody.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a bit here. You don't think there's a chance that Punk could win the Rumble and challenge Cody?
Win the Rumble and challenge Cody?
I said it.
Just because...
You think it's possible?
Just to say fuck the system and like fuck the script like how he usually does and shit, supposedly.
Biggest match. Biggest star, you know?
Nah, man.
I don't know if you remember, but in one of the very first promos, it could have been the first promo, I'm not sure, but one of the very first promos he cut when he came back into WWE, he gave a very specific shot at Cody by saying, I'm one of Dusty's kids too, talking about how he kind of like was mentored by Dusty and shit like that.
And how that fool was kind of jealous of them. Or
throwing
whatever.
a little shot at Cody,
His
essentially.
Feelings and shit.
And I mean, obviously, there's so much that we could dig into if we wanted to tell that story, as far as Cody being one of the founding members of All Elite Wrestling and CM Punk being arguably one of the guys that has contributed to the downfall, at least in the short term, of the promotion. There's a lot of interesting stuff you could do there, for sure.
That is interesting, bro.
I think that it'd be fascinating because it's definitely face versus face. I don't think there's any way to get the crowd to consistently boo either of these guys in the current state of wrestling. But that doesn't mean you can't get a really great feud out of it, because we just had that same situation with Seth and Punk. They're also both babyface for sure, but the feud was still amazing.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I'm just trying to say there's a chance he goes for this.
You're throwing a big wrench right now.
Because there's... What's the iconic picture? It's him holding this belt in the... It's this right here after he beat Big Match John. So I do think that there's a real chance that he goes for this one.
I feel like the world heavyweight is more likely, bro. I just feel like it's gonna be more open. Gunther's this is probably like a side note. I feel like Gunther's not gonna be carrying it to WrestleMania.
Interesting.
I don't think Gunther's gonna be the heavyweight championship.
So they
fucking Mania.
Do you think it's the match that they have currently announced? Do you think that's where he drops it? Up against Jay at main event?
I have a strong feeling, bro.
Really?
I have a strong feeling. Even if he might win it back with the rematch. But I have a strong feeling Jay might get his singles title, bro.
But then you said even if he wins it back, so then how do we get to Mania with him not having the title?
He's going to lose it again. It's going to be...
There's no way that he's going to lose the belt, win it back, and then lose it again within like a 2-month span. That's a little too much hot potato with the belt.
That's fair.
He could lose it and then win it back,
because
but then he's got to keep it for a bit.
definitely do see Jay winning this a main event.
Really?
Yeah.
So then Gunther just has to not win it back. I think
so. Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's just gonna be it's gonna be a different type of hot potato, like world heavyweight.
So then you're telling me Punk beats Jay at Mania?
I think it's not gonna be Jay. It's probably gonna be someone else.
See, nah, bro. I'm sorry, but you're overcooking your prediction right now. You're doing too much. You're doing way too much.
I don't know, bro.
There's not that much time until Mania, bro.
It's like, what, 3 months, 2 months away?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 months. There's no way that we're going to go from Gunther to Jay to someone else to Punk in 4 months. This is not Vince booking. This is not the ruthless aggression era. As much as sometimes I do kind of miss it in a weird way because it was exciting, but no. There's no way. I'm sorry, but can I tell you how I'm so confident that's not going to happen? Can I tell you why I'm so confident? Because Jay's last solo title run was already less than a month. And so there's no way the only 2 solo like titles that he's ever held in his career can both be 1 month title reigns. You just can't do that to the guy that you're calling main event. Like, you can't. That's ridiculous. And so if he wins that belt off of Gunther, he's holding on to it for a good amount of time to establish the main event gimmick. Or else you just buried main event. Like, it's one or the other. You can't have both. But if he wins that belt off of Gunther, it's not leaving his waist until at least WrestleMania. And even then, it's got to be like a banger match. Like, it would have to be Punk at that point. That level of a guy to take it off of him. And he still doesn't lose his aura. Because Jay's already on thin fucking ice, in my opinion. With the up and down nature of the main event shit. It's like it just doesn't... The entrances are lit. But at some point, you gotta actually be in the main event.
Okay, so what the fuck is he supposed to do at this main event then?
I think you're overcooking it. I think Gunther wins. I think Gunther walks into Mania as champion. And I think from what you're saying, I think it's Punk beats Gunther.
Championship, yeah.
I just think Punk beating Gunther makes so much more sense. And it's so much easier to have that feud. Like, they're the perfect opposites of each other in so many ways. Like, I just feel like that's the feud that's so much easier to make sense. Rather than trying to get from Gunther to Jay to some mystery man you still haven't given me to then give it to Punk. Like, that's a lot of jumping through hoops. I don't think it's possible. Again, this is bro, literally all 3 of your predictions where, like, I agree with the overall elements of it.
I've seen crazier shit,
but then when we get to the nitty-gritty of it...
motherfuckers saying 4 ways fucking for the titles and shit.
See, I wouldn't mind that at Mania. Because of how... And we've talked about this on the channel before. The main event scene on the men's side of things is just so stacked with talent right now. And a lot of guys are genuinely deserving of having a WrestleMania moment. To me, there's probably multiple fatal 4-ways you could pitch me for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania that I'd say, fuck yeah, let's do it. I think there's so many different people that deserve to be in that conversation.
I've seen, like, fucking people say Seth, CM Punk, Gunther.
Throw Drew in there, and I think we've got an absolute masterclass of a match. Like, I think that'd be great. I think there's so many different ways you could do it. I think you put Damian as the last guy in there, it'd be great. I think you put Finn in there as the last guy, it'd be great. Sammy or KO could be in there, it'd be great. Solo could be in there, it'd be great. Braun Breaker could be in there, it'd be great. There's, like...
So you would like a 3-way or a 4-way for these titles?
For the heavyweight championship specifically, yes. Just because I think there's so many people that are deserving and have been in and around that conversation for a while that you can definitely do some super amazing shit at Mania with that. And it would feel justified. It wouldn't feel like you're just trying to throw people together for the sake of it. Like, they've been having these intertwined...
Such a crazy story build-up.
they've been building it like this though. The stories have been interweaving with one another this whole time in the main event. So it doesn't take much for these guys to all start getting involved with each other. Look at how fucking Raw literally opened up tonight, the episode we watched earlier today. It started with Punk coming out and getting the crowd hyped up, and then Seth comes out and starts talking shit to him, and then Drew comes out and starts talking shit to both of them. And everything they're talking about has to do with Cody, Kevin, Roman, Sammy. Like, there's all these other guys that are all Jay and Jimmy that are like also involved in everything they're talking about. Like, bruh, all these stories and all these characters are also connected right now. Like, I would say this actually. This is a bonus prediction. I think it has to be either a 3-way or 4-way for the heavyweight.
You think it has to be?
If it's a one-on-one match, it's a missed opportunity.
Mm.
If it's a one-on-one match, it's a missed opportunity. Unless you
do
give me...
Do you think this is the only time that like a 3-way and a 4-way fits, you're saying?
Not the only time. I'm just saying...
But it's one of those few times.
This is a time, this is a year where the stories are so interwoven together. I think it would be a disservice to multiple talents on the roster if you didn't give all of them a chance to get into that heavyweight championship match.
That's wild.
That's where I'm at with it. This is our final prediction here for 2025. And it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
I hate to break it to you guys. The Rock will not wrestle in 2025.
That's not a spoiler. What do you mean he's not gonna wrestle? You think he's not gonna do anything at WrestleMania? You really think he's gonna do nothing at WrestleMania? You think Fool's gonna just chill, come say a promo, come talk shit, probably fucking
Drink Terramana.
You know,
get in his truck and leave. I just feel like you've had the platforms multiple times. He's come out at multiple shows. He's offered nothing since the previous year's Mania season kind of concluded. We're getting so close to WrestleMania now. At this point last year, we were already kind of starting to plant the seeds.
So what the fuck is he gonna do? What was that whole bullshit when he came out? I forgot what PLE was, where he fucking came out with the glasses and fucking...
Bad Blood.
Bad Blood, yeah.
They've already been reports that was done with no plan in mind. It was just done like The Rock wanted to come out. He thought it'd be fun. So he did it. I kind of think bro might be an alcoholic. That's another side tangent, but...
What?
I kind of think he's losing it. He's been like so busy for so long. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know. Obviously, I love him. Of course, he's entertaining. And I'd love to be wrong.
Alright, so why do you call him an alcoholic, though?
Well, the dude is just always acting like kind of wild in public these days. I think he might have been drunk during the NXT promo. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think he might have been drunk.
You think that's why he always does the goosebumps shit? Because he's fucking probably smashed.
I don't know about that. But just the way he was talking. So, like, if you compare it to the Raw Netflix promo literally from the night before, he just sounds a lot more clear and focused in the Raw Netflix one. And he sounds a little more loose. Like, I think he might have legit been drinking a lot of tequila before he went out at NXT.
You think so? That's not...
That's a shoot, bro.
The fucking bottle he had backstage, he already had it open from before.
I don't know, man. And so I just feel like...
Oh, my God. That's a wild take, bro. Where did that shit even come from?
I've just been doing a lot of thinking about everything he said this last week or so.
That's been going on with him and shit.
And I've come to the conclusion that...
That's wild.
He's given us truly nothing to indicate that he has any availability to come back. He's given us the indication that there's interest. Like, he talks like he wants to be
Rock is
involved.
too deep in the drink to come back. He forgot to write himself.
No. I don't think it's that. I think he's just too busy with all the acting shit and everything else. That was just another tangent. But I do think he's just gonna be so busy with everything this year. Like, from what I've heard, all the Moana shoots and everything like that are gonna carry into the year pretty decently, to where, like, I don't know if he'll be ready to come back by Mania
And be like on
to get a whole feud
like
going, like how he was last year with the final boss character and everything he was doing with Cody. And then if he doesn't have time to come back before Mania, I don't think he'd do it, because when else is he gonna put on a show except WrestleMania, realistically? Like, he's not gonna come out and wrestle at any other show throughout the year, in my opinion, unless it's to build up to WrestleMania, so like the Rumble or something like that. But I don't think that's gonna happen this year. I just don't see it. I don't know, man. And again, like, I'd love to be wrong, because the wrestling is better with The Rock involved, but I just don't think it's gonna happen with everything. With the tea leaves we've been reading so far this year, I don't see it. I personally don't see it. Sad as it is to say.
That's wild. I don't fully believe. I don't know. That's an interesting, very interesting take. I agree with you with all the points you said. Like, I literally do, but I don't know. I feel like it was literally built up for him to wrestle this year.
It was.
Everything that supposedly happened was supposed to be like all build up. Like, he's gonna come out and like start fucking probably beating everybody's ass or some shit.
But that hasn't happened yet. He literally crowned
He was probably gonna
Roman
use
as the
fucking like
tribal chief.
Solo as a pawn or some shit, but no.
None of it ever came to fruition, man.
And now I guess Roman's gonna try to win the Royal Rumble to face Cody.
Which, like, would still be fun, of course, but I feel like it's more likely that we get Cody versus Roman, or Cody versus Randy maybe, or Cody versus even John, I think, is all more likely than Cody Rock for this year.
That's wild. That means
I think those are all more likely for this year.
That is wild. You think Cody's just gonna have his pick or some shit?
No, I just think those are all potentially on the
He
table.
might win Elimination Chamber or some bullshit, even though you say he's gonna lose too.
Well, I just think that those are all stories that you have a realistic way to get there. You know, like, they're all at least in the Rumble. The Rock is...
Damn, so we're not like we don't have a guaranteed Roman Reigns versus Cody this year then?
No, it's not guaranteed, no. It's possible, but it's not guaranteed.
That's wild.
No.
That's even wild.
Would you just thought it was a given? Every year you get Cody versus Roman? You thought that shit was a fucking annual tradition now?
I guess with the
No.
way everything's going and shit.
You might get it if you're lucky. Were you a good boy this year? So we'll find out.
Yo.
If you were naughty, you get Cody versus Logan Paul. Sorry. I don't make the rules.
Shit. That'd be a banger.
Logan's
That'd be
going
a classic,
over.
bruh.
Logan's going over.
That'd be a classic, bruh.
And then he's going to take the belt and not defend it.
This was gonna make it a prime belt, bruh.
That'd be so awesome. If he just made it the prime belt, defended it like 3 times a year. Fuck. That's what I need.
Every single time it drops a new flavor, he changes the plates and shit.
Damn, bro, you're cooking.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You're cooking. That's a banger, bro. So that's your last prediction?
Yeah, bro.
Nice, I like it. Prime belt. Nice, dude.